Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast with Francesca Moi, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in your business. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 100 of Business Behind the Scene. And as I told you, for this episode, I was going to get my amazing mentor, William Farmer from Carnegie, here live. And here it is. Hi, William.
Hey, thanks. What a great introduction. Thank you, Francesca.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. I love hanging out with you and having you as my mentor. I learn so much every single time we speak. So I thought, my gosh, my beautiful podcast listeners will love having you here.
Yeah, I know this is about, business behind the scenes. And, one of the key things to any entrepreneur, any business owner, any mature business owner is that learner attitude. And you have that in spades. We call it want to, need to, can do, show me how. And when you have that openness to learning, then you learn fast. And so it's pretty easy for me.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Well, the thing is, I love when I come to you with a problem and you just have this calm and what to say. You're so wise and you always give me the best advice with my team, with my sales, in business in general. So if we were to talk to our audience and tell them today, what would be some of the struggles that you see business owners going through that are behind the scene that nobody really talks about?
Startups are great. They're exciting. It's like being on the back of a tiger. It's really exhilarating. You just don't want to get off. And, you have to make money and all of a sudden you put your name out there, your brand out there. And so from a startup point of view, there's a lot of energy. So one of the key things for new businesses is focus. If you don't know where you're going to take your team. So you have to have that clarity of what do I want to achieve? Why do I want to achieve it? And for also startups, there are some things that you may have passionately embraced, but realized it's commercially not viable. All of us have done that. So don't get frustrated with that. I work with a lot of companies that are moving from adolescence to maturity, where, what is that? I want to leave home, Dad. What you're saying is wrong. And it's like the business is doing that as well. It's going, but I birthed you. I brought you into this world.
Yeah.
And so systems and processes, they have to be really sound. You need people. They want to know what their roles are, how you're measuring their outcomes.
Yeah.
And you want to cash flow it. Teenagers are expensive. And so you want them to, I just want you to make money without me being in the business, and that's maturity, right?
Oh my goodness. Isn't that the dream of every single business owner? Is that even possible, William? Would that ever happen?
Absolutely. We're living in wild times. What I mean, great disruption. You got AI emerging into business. Now, you can get anxious about it and go, oh my goodness, how is AI going to take over my business? Or you can go, what's the advantages of it? We're going to be able to have systems and processes streamlined for us, which means that we can bring our talent into solving really, really good problems. And when you can solve problems, the bigger the problem you solve, actually, the more revenue you attract.
That is so true.
And so that's one of the things. That's one of the things I admire about you, Francesca. You're an innovator. I mean, we've had dinners and coffees, and you're going, oh, I think I'm going to do this, and I go, where's that coming from? And you'll outline it. It'll be like a dream board, and then you'll just break it down. And before you know, you've done it.
It's so funny. Thank you. Well, the thing is, William, it's funny because I literally just before I came to this chat with you, I was chatting with my team. We had a team meeting and I said, guys, I have got a really great idea. We're going to go and implement it next year. We're going to put all things in place and then we're going to launch it. And they were like, here she goes with another idea. But what they know that for sure that every time I've come up with an idea and I launch it, I somehow made it work every single time.
You can't FDI. FDI stands for fail to implement. And it's okay that your idea doesn't make money. Just get rid of it quickly.
Yes.
Or if you've read anything about Amazon, where they lost money hand over fist every single year. We're not talking millions. We're talking hundreds of millions. What your strategy is and what the end game is. That's the thing. That's the wise thing about any entrepreneur, any business owner is you're going to go, what is there a payoff, and when is it going to happen? So,
absolutely. And William, I just realized that I went straight into chatting with you and I didn't even let you introduce yourself and your business. I mean, I think that everybody knows you, but probably maybe some people might not. So let's let you introduce yourself and your business, and then we can keep going chatting about other things.
So if anybody's familiar with the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that's by Dale Carnegie. Fascinating guy. He wrote that book in 1936. So we've grown into the largest privately owned training company on the planet. And so Dale Carnegie's work is all around engagement. You've got to be connected to yourself to be able to be connected with others. But we've got some real disciplines. So disciplines around management, sales, leadership, engagement, customer care, high performance. It's about 300 things that we do. And a lot of our clients will also get involved with what I call the Streetwise MBA, which is the top 5 areas that all entrepreneurs, all business owners should actually be really good at. Yeah.
And what are the 5 areas?
5. Okay. First of all, Dale Carnegie's DNA, which is actually influence. We lead people, we manage process. And so that's one of the key things. Next is leadership training for managers, where we actually learn to bring process into the table, and that we can measure KPIs and know how to coach people to higher performance. And then we move into what we call high impact presentations, where we have to learn how to do that online like we are now, or in person. Good leaders are good storytellers. One of the things that I've actually starting to bring a lot of top end management through, even if they don't do this day to day, is learn how to sell. We call it trusted advisory training or sales training. And at the end of the day, everyone sells. And knowing how to do that and negotiate that at a high level is incredibly important. We've got a new product too, actually 2. One's called Unleash Your Leadership Potential. Oh. And that's really tapping into, hey, what are my blind spots as a business owner, as a leader? How do I make sure that I overcome those? What are my strengths as a leader? Yeah. We've seen a big gap globally in that area of leadership. Not everyone knows how to coach. And so...
1,000,000%. And the thing, William, it's incredible what, like you got one of our virtual assistants in your amazing business.
Yeah.
2. Yeah. Amazing. And so how we help clients get virtual assistant, and then sometimes they go like, oh, it's not working. And most of the time it's the leader not working. Hey,
I was coaching someone yesterday, actually, lovely lady. And she just brought on a virtual assistant. And one of her biggest challenges is actually getting the most or maximizing the returns out of the virtual assistants. I said, look, you've got to have process. You've got to have process around what your expectations are. You've got to be able to measure that. You've got to give constant feedback, and you've got to train them to be awesome. Yeah. And, so you just don't hire them and expect them to be a miracle worker. Some of them are, by the way. Some of your VAs are miracle workers.
But they're trained, right?
They're going to be trained. Yeah. They're going to be trained. And we're going to be trained to train.
That's exactly right. We assume that we know how to do that, but it's one of the hardest things is to let go of your baby. Like you were saying before, my business is my baby. And give it to someone else to run it. It's like one of the scariest things. So how do you train someone to do that? What would you suggest?
So awareness, being aware of what you need to shift is 50 to 60%, halfway there, a little bit over half. Although, we are slave to habit and behaviors. And so instead of trying to change a behavior, right over the top of it. And then process that. It's like going, if you want to get fit, go to the gym, but once won't do it.
No.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's the process. And then what happens is you start to anchor in different behaviors. Yeah. So Carnegie, we give you what we call an immersion process, and then we sustain it with ongoing refreshers, as well as online and in person. And we actually go on a journey with some of our, we've been on a journey, haven't we, Francesca? You've taken me through ignorance in social media. I don't want to do a selfie. Where's the camera?
You're a king now.
Yeah. Look, I've got a profile now. Before I met you, Francesca, I had no profile.
Yeah.
It worked, and it would work without doing that. I was talking to 450 engineers last week in Cairns.
Yeah.
I said, how many of you are on LinkedIn? And I would say a quarter.
Wow.
And I said, who's heard that saying? It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? And I said, no, it's not. It's not true. It's who wants to know you and who can find you.
Yeah.
And that's the new business reality, is that we have to be purposeful around our marketing. We have to learn how to be targeted. But if you're invisible, none of that's relevant. So that's one of the things that you've taught me. You've coached me on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, you are amazing. You're a speaker, you're a natural at it. So if someone had this big fear about putting themselves out there on social media because they're afraid of what people think, of judgment, of standing out, what would you suggest?
It's not about you.
I love it.
Yeah, look, it's the same thing. Like if I'm coaching someone to handle it. I mean, Dale Carnegie's famous for helping people in groups. It's just one of the things we do, but
you do that great.
And so when I'm coaching someone around, hey, how to present your ideas effectively and to the point, first thing is, it's not about you. It's about the message. And if the message is compelling and important, and you've actually thought about it in terms of the interests of the audience or the customer or the client, then it isn't about you. You're just the vessel. Now, what I try to encourage all vessels is to be happy, enthusiastic, enjoy it. It's okay to be scared. Yeah. Absolutely. Fear is false evidence appearing real, but another one is feeling excited and ready. And when you can start to feel excited and ready to present to your customers, because you care about your customers, the world should pay you handsomely for that.
That is so beautifully said. Hey, absolutely. And I love the fact that, I've done lots of training with you and your company. And I love how no matter if I go to a class with you or to one of your trainers, like the value is like next level. So how did you do that? Because this is one of the things that I see a lot of coaches getting stuck in the business, because they go like, people just want to pay for my time. How did you get that the value? I mean, you're obviously incredible, but when you go in a class with your team, it's very good as well. So how do you do that?
Look, it's about attracting the right talent. And deciding, hey, what is it that I want and why do I want it? You have to learn to go. One of the things we teach in our management program is they may not be 10 out of 10, they may be 7. Well, that's 7 points you don't have to do anymore. 3 points that you might have to take on. 30% is better than 70%. Yeah. And what happens is once they start to let go, about 3 months later, it's like, oh, they do it better than me. And so there's a saying that I use in my company probably every single day: progress over perfection. And so when I'm working with my trainers, by the way, my trainers are outstanding. In fact, several in the top in our company, and there's about 8,000 trainers in our company.
Wow!
And one of the reasons is progress over perfection. They all know I'm a perfectionist. When it comes to delivery, I'm sitting in the back going, "Oh, you should have done this. Oh, you should have done that." But I know progress is better than my perfectionism, because it's not about me. Their filter is different to my filter. So it's really honoring other people. Look, you have to have that raw talent. I hire on attitude. I really hire on that. Yes, they've got to be cognitively engaged. They've got to have half a clue. But enthusiasm, you can't, it's contagious. And right attitude, even if they get it wrong several times, eventually will get it right because they back themselves. So that's one of the things I do.
That is so true.
I think Carnegie's done a marvelous job. I mean, our footprint now is 90 countries. In fact, our global footprint is the biggest in the world for what we do, which is incredible. And if you think about it, what company lasts 109 years in our space?
It's true, hey?
In our space.
Yeah.
Very, very few.
Very few, absolutely. Such an amazing job. And that's because they've got amazing leaders like you have taken this company to the next level, and you've been evolving with times. And what was your biggest challenge through COVID? Did your business have any challenges, or you?
In-person business. Hey, let's go into a class. Of course we did. Yeah. One of our biggest challenge was exactly that. We actually had an online presence for 10 years. Thank you for the full side of Dale Carnegie Associates, which is our mothership. Challenge was we didn't want to do it. We love in person. We're a group of show-offs. Give me an audience now. Yeah. And so like all most of us, we had to move the room. And so from in-person to online. Now, what's really amazing is now we've got two businesses. Queensland, because of our beautiful weather and I guess a few other lucky things that have happened for us in Queensland, we've actually been in person a lot. But we now offer online. And so what I tried to do with my trainers, I said, let's make it a Dale Carnegie experience on Zoom or in Teams or using WebEx. And so we've just taken our natural enthusiasm that you'd see us in the class and actually try to do that actually online. The feedback's been amazing. I've actually trained more people in the last 2 years than ever. I'm talking thousands of people because of online.
You can reach as many people as everywhere, right? It's incredible.
Yeah. And like both of us are in the same type of business. We had to pivot as quick as we possibly can.
Tell me a little secret, William. Which one do you prefer? Do you still prefer offline?
No, I like in person.
Me too.
I just do. I like in person. But I am getting a little lazy. So like, hey, let's Zoom. Zoom.
That is so true, right? There is a part of my brain is like, oh, why don't we just catch up in Zoom? I don't want to come to the office. Like someone called me today. It's like, oh, come to the city. I'm like, I'm not coming to the city. Let's just catch up on Zoom. Absolutely. So it is bringing a lazy part of us, isn't it?
Well, so what happens is you just become a little bit more efficient. So we'll do all the pre-meetings. And then when it's down to, hey, let's look at maybe a contractual agreement. I'll buy you a coffee. Let's meet. And productivity wise, I think we've increased by at least 30-40% because of COVID.
Wow, that is fantastic news. I love it. I love this podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. I want to know from William, one of the things that I go and call him all the time. I call William. I'm so lucky. I can just go like, William, I need help. I've been a client of William for the last probably 3 years now.
We've helped each other, right?
You train my whole team and it's just been incredible. We've got another session coming up for my team and I'm so excited because they all love training with William. And so one of the things that I call you for is like, one of my team is leaving me or this is happening. And you always have a wise word for me. It's just incredible what you've done for me in my business. So if someone is listening and they've got a staff member that is about to leave, what would you say?
Well, look, there's three key reasons why people will leave. And so the research that we've done throughout the world is the first one is people don't leave jobs, they leave managers. Second one is they don't understand the leadership outcome. And the third one is sense of purpose. So they're the three reasons why people may leave. Or there's another opportunity. So one of the things that you and I have both discussed is alignment. So when someone is actually saying, hey, I want to leave, there's a good indication that there's a misalignment. So it's actually an opportunity. What's really essential is the exit meeting. Is to say, hey, what are some of the things that you are finding a bit challenging about working with the organization? Now, can I ask this, Francesca?
Yeah.
When we've had those discussions, and then some time later, is there any regret about any of the people that left?
No.
Okay. And this is pretty much true for most MDs that I work with. My only regret is they didn't leave earlier.
Yeah. For some people, it's true. Yeah.
Like, because I could see that we weren't aligned.
Yeah.
And, I've trained hundreds of thousands of people now in one way or another. I've actually trained 35,000 in one of our programs, which is called the Dale Carnegie course.
Wow.
People don't go to work to be miserable.
No.
And when I start to see people going, like, oh, they're struggling to be here, it's usually because, and a lot of time it's outside circumstances as well, but something's not being provided in the hub.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, they're starting to get a little bit miserable.
Yeah.
So, let them free.
Yeah, and that affects everybody else in the team. I remember quite some times ago that I called you and I said, look, this person is a little bit change the energy and it's a bit like, dragging the feet. What am I going to do? And you suggested me to just have an open conversation. And that was the best thing. I remember I was like having like anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, how is this going to go? I was terrified. I didn't want to do it. And then when I did it, it was so good because we found out that person was actually not happy. And all she wanted to do is start home business and all that stuff. And so I was like, well, then go, darling, go and be free. And it was so beautiful because finally we were able to talk about the truth rather than both feeling guilty or pretending or whatever. It was just the best thing. I wish I did that with everybody else, to be honest.
Yeah. And like, as young startups, small businesses moving into medium size, like leadership is something that's not taught in schools. You might be lucky enough if you get in a sports team. If you're lucky enough to get a supervisor or manager who really is a good leader and emulates good leadership skills, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But, a lot of the time we have to learn by osmosis. We have to learn through experience. I always think you should read a book before you get into experience. It's just cheaper. And don't take it personally. Business owners, you and I included, we're so passionate about our baby. We can take it. What do you mean you don't love my baby? What do you mean you're going to leave? And we can take it so personally, where it's not personal.
I did that every single time. I was like, what do you mean they don't get it? They're never going to find a business. Like, we'll make it all about me. And it's like, who cares? They're going to find something better because they're not happy here. Yeah.
But one of the things that you've taught me too is about promotion. Unless people can find you and you can have that energy that allows the business to grow. It's really important that you market your business as well. So there's just a lot of spinning plates.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my goal in business is, we believe people at their best are unstoppable, and I want everybody in my team to be in that mindset. Okay, not everyone has to be the leader. Okay, but I want them unleashed. So that they've got each other's back, and look, and if we're not aligned, I don't want to hold on to people that aren't getting the most out of their time. I spell time LIFE. That's the trade. You're trading days. And I'm selfish. I want you to have the best trade a day that you can possibly have. If it's not with our company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%. And so, William, you have had a couple of virtual assistants from us. What would you say was the best benefit of getting a virtual assistant from us rather than find them yourself?
Trained. You have them trained. And you've got a team leader, Beck, who also looks after those virtual assistants. And so she's like the trainer for them.
Yeah.
And so if they don't know the answer, they can go directly to them.
Yeah.
What I would say, and the mistake I made in the beginning, is I just didn't really get to know my VAs.
Yeah.
So we make we make sure that every meeting they're on Zoom, joined into the team.
Yeah.
We find out their family. We like as if they were actually working in our office.
1,000,000%.
I tell you, when you do that, productivity is incredible.
Yeah. Next level. I love it. That's so amazing.
And so often when we're a small business trying to grow, we forget that. We forget they're even in our team because we can't see them. So I would say have a process of connection every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. It changes the game completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So William, if someone wanted to, listen into this podcast and go, oh my gosh, I would love to be trained by William and his team, where can I find you? You have a Facebook group that I can join?
Yeah. There's a couple of things. So we've got a podcast. It's called Business, the Art of Winning. So that's something that's complimentary that talks about some of the issues that we've just talked about. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Go and listen to
Carnegie, Australia. I mean, we're in every state. We cover every state. And so you can find us with Dale Carnegie Australia. We also have a Facebook page called Unstoppable Leaders. There's about 1,000 people in that group, like-minded people. And once you're a graduate of any of our program, you become part of our alumni. And so our goal is to really help you sustain the learning over the long term.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So congratulations for all your success. And I wanted to celebrate with this 100 episode with you because you have been part of my journey and my success. And I wanted to thank you for everything you've done for me and my business for the last few years.
Well, you've made our business grow. So what we're creating from Francesca's teaching is a marketing process no one in the world is doing. And we've just about nailed it. Once we nail that, we're going to roll that out to Dale Carnegie and Associates. So that would never have happened without your influence. So thank you, Francesca.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, William. That is so exciting. All right, everybody. This is William Farmer. Go and join his podcast and his Facebook group and go into all the training that William does here at Dale Carnegie in Queensland. They do stuff online as well. So make sure that you go and reach him out. And one more time, thank you so much for listening. And thank you, William, for joining me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, then you have to come to check out our Facebook group, Workshop Secrets for Coaches. It's a community of over 9,500 coaches that are ready to boom their business by running workshops. They are stuck in one-on-one coaching and they're ready to start to go one-to-many. So if you are one of those coaches, then you have to join us. I look forward to see you there. And hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave me a review to win a ticket to one of my workshops. I look forward to see you there.